everybody. This is Casey Huff, and I'm here with Adam Thomas. We're going to be talking about his music career today. So, Adam, how long have you been making music?
Making music and putting it out since 2020, but being a musician, having music involved in my life since I was about 2 years old.
Okay, so you were interested in music as a child. Like what got you interested in that at such a young age?
Definitely Elvis Presley. My babysitter when I was younger actually was a huge Elvis fan and would buy all these movies for me to watch, and I would just start singing along. And then eventually she started making me all the Elvis outfits. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Maybe I should stick to this. So. Do
you feel like a lot of your music kind of like takes after that style, or do you think that just kind of got you into like music?
Yes and no. There's certain aspects of my music where I'm like, this definitely is influential of what I used to do. And then there's also parts of it that it's modern, like, you know, like Harry Styles, stuff like that. So, yeah. Yeah.
So you write your own music.
Yes.
What do you like to write about? Like, kind of what's your...
I don't know. I've never been asked that before. Just whatever is inspiring me in the moment. I mean, there's some times where I go 2-3 years without writing a song, and then just divine intervention, just start writing songs again. So
yeah. So being a young musician in college, like, what's the hardest thing you think about that?
Definitely juggling everything. So I just got into the early entry MBA program, so that's another thing on my plate. So I haven't even booked any gigs for the band recently, so definitely trying to juggle everything. So,
yeah, that would definitely be a lot. So what are you actually studying here besides the pre-MBA program?
Communications.
Like, okay. Interesting. So nothing music related here?
No.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I know.
So like, what do you do outside of, you know, music? I mean,
sleep. No. Try to find time for myself. Go on hikes. I work down at the Fraser History Museum. They started the Kentucky Bourbon Trail. I had to plug them a little bit, but no. So yeah, just trying to keep a healthy work-life balance so I can have some money coming in other than music.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah.
What do you do at the History Museum?
I'm in guest services, so I'm giving out bourbon tastings. Yeah.
That's so elegant of you. I love that. Do you feel like you have any connection between your major and your music, or do you think you kind of keep those two parts of your life separate?
I think there could be a correlation. I mean, communications is a very versatile degree. So, I mean, if I want to do something with music, it can be accomplished. If I don't, c'est la vie, almost.
Yeah, I get that. Have you been able to perform at any like events on campus?
Oh yeah. Since my freshman year, I have performed at Bellarmine every single year. So, I always found a reason to play my music here. Yeah,
so how does the atmosphere of like being on campus and doing shows like that differ from being at like an outside venue?
It's very different. You know, playing for college students is so much more fun than a group of older folks. I just love the vibe that every college student brings to the show. So,
yeah, do you think you feel like a difference when like you see people you know in the crowd versus when it's just a bunch of people that you do not know whatsoever?
Oh yeah. A couple of my friends come to my shows all the time. I always get them free tickets. But whenever they're there, they just feed off the energy that I'm giving, and I feed off their energy, and it's quite different, yes.
Well, you always do a great job at Bellarmine. My freshman year, I remember like hearing you, and I was like, oh my God, this person's like actually really good. I was like, wow. What do you think is like the most rewarding part about being a musician?
Definitely getting to meet new people, like interviews like this, just getting to know people, getting for them to hear my story, hear their story. Definitely that, yeah.
Do you think you want to, for a career, go more towards like your degree, or do you think you want to go more towards music, or do you just want like best of both worlds, or?
I 100% want to be a musician, but music is not all that. For anybody listening that wants to be a musician, don't invest all your money into it. It's not a good idea, because it's very wishy-washy, and who's going to be the next big hit versus who's just going to be the college student playing in their garage, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to feed off of that, like, if you had advice for anyone else that wants to be a musician or a young musician, like, what would it be?
I know this is very cliche, but just keep trying. Network, know every promoter in town. Make sure you get every show that you can be on, so, yeah.
What is your favorite performance you've ever done, and why is that your favorite?
Back in 2019, I played at the Louisville Palace, And
that's cool.
for Louisvillians, that's a huge venue to play at, and that was probably my favorite performance to ever play at. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love the Palace. It's like the prettiest
I
venue I
know,
think in
it's
Louisville. It's so
beautiful.
cool. I've seen multiple shows there.
Yeah.
So I know like you grew up liking Elvis, like, and that's kind of what got you into music.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you lean towards more now as you've gotten older?
Wow. You would think I'd be a professional at this.
You would
but
think.
Definitely more like pop. I recently started getting more into ABBA, so definitely that pop disco kind of feel.
You getting your
really
Mamma Mia like vibe. I
Yeah,
love that. I
very
love
much
that.
so.
So completely like 180 from your favorite performance you've ever done. What is like your first ever performance you did or first show, anything like that?
First ever performance I did was at Zanzibar here in Louisville. Now the band has traveled, and the first one that we did at a bigger venue was in Chicago at the Cubby Bear. Very iconic, right across from Wrigley Field. But I mean, Chicago is very different from Louisville, so I gotta say Zanzibar, I would count that as the first
Yeah.
show ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you go about like booking gigs like that? Like what's the process kind of look like for that?
Yeah. Here in Louisville, I have a guy that I reach out to. He is the booking agent for Headliners Music Hall, and once you know one promoter, they know everybody, so they're going to get you in contact with a lot of people. I also use a software called Indie on the Move, which is for independent artists to book and find out who to book through, and so I've been using that recently.
Wow. That's really cool. I didn't know any of that actually.
Yeah, it's very technical.
What is your dream venue and why?
Dream venue. Actually, I have a couple of these. Probably the Red Rocks Amphitheater.
Oh my God, that's so pretty. I
know.
want to go there so bad.
It's beautiful. I mean, just the ambiance around that. I think, I would love to throw a big old concert party there. So yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
How do you feel like music in a lot of ways, like, this is kind of a broad question, but like defying gender norms in like music, like how do you feel like,
Oh yeah.
if that makes sense?
I do have to say, like, in terms of like feminism in music, I think there definitely needs to be more of it. I look at some older artists like Carole King, Joni Mitchell, Janis Joplin, Joan Jett, who didn't take anything from any man. They just paved the way for themselves. And I think we definitely need more of that in the music industry because, I mean, women do it better than men, so.
I could not agree more. So what's next for you? Like what's next for you guys, like going forward from here?
I am actually in the midst of planning a tour. You all are the first to hear about this.
Yay.
It's going to be called the All By Myself Tour, so it's just going to be me with an acoustic guitar going to all these smaller venues
Oh, that's so cool.
with an intimate setting. So
So are you thinking like different places around Louisville or like around Kentucky or
around
like
the country.
around the country?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so cool. So do you think like what states do you think, or like what is on like your bucket list, like you specifically want to go to?
Definitely Seattle, Washington. That's my second home. I've gone there since I was about 7. I love it. And obviously California,
Yeah.
because what musician isn't like, oh, I want to go to California?
Well, yeah.
But yeah, definitely out west. I think the scenic views around the west is just so amazing.
Well, obviously you have to go to Colorado too. You gotta
Obviously.
get at least close to the amphitheater.
I could play outside the gates,
Yeah,
then
right. And you
technically
could
be
just
there.
pretend,
Yeah, exactly.
So like when do you think that's gonna happen? Like the tour itself?
Hopefully this upcoming summer of 25, but I'm not 100% sure because we're still
Yeah.
booking things.
Yeah,
so.
that's awesome. How many different stops do you think you'll have approximately?
Hoping to do like 30 or 40,
Oh wow.
but currently we only have about 10 or 12 confirmed. So,
Wow, that's a big tour. Like
know,
that's a
yeah.
lot. That's so exciting.
yeah, hopefully I come back to school the next
Yeah.
semester.
Well, maybe you'll just get your big break and you won't come back.
Maybe, who knows?
You never know. So like I know it's really early in the planning, but what do you think like that set list or like the show plans, like how do you think that's gonna look for you?
Great question. Definitely a lot of originals because an original artist definitely wants their music to be heard. But covers like ABBA, like different things that can be transcribed into an acoustic setting. I think definitely, so I don't bore the people out of their mind.
No, I love that. Do you kind of like plan this all by yourself, or do you have like a good support system behind you to kind of go off of?
So definitely the support system, and bouncing back to your previous question about what musicians need, a support system, huge. But as far as booking, I am the one doing all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a lot to take on, like
Yeah.
while also being a college student. That's actually insane.
a little bit, yeah.
But that's awesome. That's so exciting for you. Like,
Yeah,
good
appreciate
luck.
it.
I
Thank
hope
you.
all goes well.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching.